Hey there folks, Riath here from tabletopminis.com and welcome to another Age of Sigmar battle report. So today we're going to play another battle plan from the Quest for Ghal Maraz book. This one's called A War of Storms, or The War of Storms, and it's got an interesting battle stormfront mechanic where the storm moves up and down the table during the game. So it should be really interesting. We'll show you the armies and then we'll talk about the scenario. So here we've got the Skaven army, and that's led by new addition to the Skaven army here, Skreech Verminking. And he's going to be accompanied by a warlock engineer. And then we have 20 storm vermin with full command. We have a packmaster and 2 rat ogres. And in the artillery section we've got a poison wind globe weapons team. We've got a warp fire thrower and a warp lightning cannon. And that's a Skaven. And here we have the high elves, which are led by Prince Imrik on his dragon. And we have 8 silver helms with full command. We have 2 great eagles and a lion chariot. And then we have 10 swordmasters with full command, and we have 10 archers with full command. And that's the high elves. So here we've got the battlefield set up, and we're playing on 6x4 Realm of Fire. So we've each placed 3 geysers around the middle. And because this scenario is a war of storms, the objective on this scenario is we have a storm front that starts in the middle of the table, so we have deployment on both edges, and that storm front will move forwards or backwards depending on how much damage we do to the enemy general, and also a roll at the end of the turn. So the victory conditions for this scenario is we need the storm front to reach one side of the table. If it hasn't done that by turn 6, then whoever has the largest territory is the winner, so that should be quite interesting. And yeah, we also start on the edges, so we'll roll up terrain and then we'll get into deployment. So deployment's done, and we've got the elves starting over here. The elves are acting as the guardians here, with the chariot here. Then we have swordmasters and archers, silver helms in the middle, and over on the other flank we've got all our flyers, the eagle and the dragon. And then over here on the Skaven side, we've got the warp fire thrower and the warp lightning cannon, and the vermin lord in the middle, warlock engineer, and then the storm vermin, and the rat ogres and poison wind weapons team over there. So in this scenario we've sort of started with a bit more distance between us, so it should make for some interesting maneuvering at the start. So let's get into the game. So next we're going to roll to see where the storm front moves. So at the start of every turn, before we roll to see who starts the battle round, the storm front can move either direction, and if you've got any priests it can modify the results. So let's see which direction that moves in. So for the elves, for the guardians, we get a 6 and a 1 for the Skaven. So that means the storm front is going to move towards the enemy territory, towards the Skaven territory, the corruptors territory, 6 inches. So just move that ruler up 6 inches. And see, the benefit here is if you fight within your own territory, on your side of the storm front you get a bonus. So for the guardian here, the bonus is we can +1 to hit rolls in the combat phase, and for the corruptor they can +1 to wound rolls. So it benefits you if you're fighting within your territory, which makes it quite interesting. So next, rolling to see who starts, and that's a 2 for the elves and a 5 for the Skaven. So you going to start the battle round?
Yep.
Okay, so Skaven to go first. So because this is a Realm of Fire, we're going to roll to see which geyser blows up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And any units within 6 inches takes D3 mortal wounds. So number 3, so that's that geyser there. I don't think anything is within 6 inches. We've also got the Flaming Missile special rule. So any shooters that shoot more than 12 inches can reroll to wound rolls of a 1, because the arrows or the missiles catch on fire. So into the hero phase for the Skaven, and the Skreech Verminking is going to cast Inspiring Presence on the Storm Vermin. Yep. And then the Warlock Engineer here is going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield on the Storm Vermin as well. So
6.
Need a 6 or more for that to go off, which it doesn't. So nothing there. So into the movement phase, and the Vermin Lord here is going to run forward. So that is 12 plus 1, 13. So that's 13 inches. Quite fitting for a Vermin Lord. Now the Warlock Engineer is running forward also, so it's 6 plus 2, 8 inches. And now the Storm Vermin, they're running also, so that's 6 plus 2, 8 inches. Now the Rat Ogre is going to move, or it's going to run 6 plus 5, so that's 11 inches. And the Packmaster also, so that's 8 inches.
8 inches.
And now the Weapons team is going to run, so it is 9 inches. And over this side, the Warpfire Thrower is going to 12 inches.
12 inches.
Finally, the Warp Lightning Cannon. Wow, 6 plus its normal move is
3. So
okay, so it's 9 inch total. And everything will run, so there's no shooting here, and there's no combat or charging or battle shocks. So it is into turn 1 for the Elves. And as it's the end of the turn, normally if there's any wounds on the general, the Stormfront would move. But because no wounds have been issued, then it stays where it is. So we're into turn 1 for the Elves. Now seeing which guys are erupt, so that is a 4, which is 3, 4, which is the one the Storm Vermin's on. So that's a D3 mortal wounds on the Storm Vermin, which is 2 mortal wounds, so 2 Storm Vermin are removed.
And the Warlock Engineer.
Oh, and the Warlock Engineer as well. So yeah, he's within 6 inches, so that is 2 wounds on the Warlock Engineer. So is he down to 3, I think? So start the hero phase, and Imrik's going to use his command ability, Lord of Dragons, which allows his dragon to reroll some to wound rolls. So I've got no spellcasters, so we're straight into movement. My Lion Chariot here is going to run forward, so that's 9 inches plus 6, so it's 15 inches. Quite a good run there. Mystical piece of terrain here, so I have to be careful not to get befuddled. Swordmasters are going to run, so that's 6 plus 3, so it's 9 inches. So up they go. And now the archers are going to run also, so that is 9 inches also. And now the Silver Helms are going to run, so the normal move of 12 plus 1, so that's 13 inches. So up they go to here. And now Imrik is going to fly 14 inches just to over here. And now the Great Eagle is going to move 16 up to here. And his little buddy's going to join him. So that is movement over, and there's nothing within range for shooting here. So, and no charges that can be made. So we are into the end of the turn. So that is the end of battle round 1, and no wounds have been caused on the generals. So we're into battle round 2. So we're rolling to see which direction the Stormfront moves. So for the Elves we have a 3 and a 3. So we're rolling that. 6 for the High Elf, 6 for the Skaven. 2 for me. 2. Oh, come on. 3 for me. 6 for you. Okay, so it moves 6 inches back towards the Elves. So it's back in the center of the table. It's quite important because you get the bonus if you're fighting in your territory. So we're rolling to see who starts battle round 2, and that is a 2 for the Elves and a 5 for the Skaven. So you gonna start?
Yep.
Okay. So we're rolling to see which guys are erupts here, or you can roll. 2, which is this one over here. So that is Imrik, and the Silver Helms are covered.
The eagles. Well, this eagle.
Yeah, and that eagle. So a D3 mortal wounds on the Silver Helms, and that is 2 wounds. That is 1 Silver Helm removed. And the D3 mortal wounds for Imrik. 1 wound, which will take him down to 13 wounds. And that 1 Great Eagle over there, he's got 4 wounds normally. Ooh, he takes 3 wounds, so he's down to a single wound. The Vermin Lord is going to start by casting Inspiring Presence on the Storm Vermin here. So Skreech has got an ability. He can choose from a number of different things. He's going to choose to use the Verminous Clans ability, which will add 1 to all his hit rolls for this turn. So that's active now. And next, Skreech is going to cast Arcane Bolt on the Eagle. That's down to a single wound, so it's cast value of 5. And it goes off, so that's well, he's only got 1 wound, so that's the Eagle removed. And next, the Warlock Engineer is going to cast Mystic Shield on Skreech Verminking, so cast value of 6, which it makes, so he's got a +1 to his save also. That's 3+ save now. And lastly, the Packmaster is going to use Herded into the Fray on the Rat Ogres, which adds an inch to their run and charge, and they can
Add one to
their hit rolls. So the Rat Ogres are going to move forward 6 inches. Almost at the border of the storm front here. Which side are we going to fight on? And the Packmaster's moving up 6 also. And the Globe team, weapons team, they're just going to move a few inches forward. And now the Storm Vermin is going to move forward 6. The Warlock Engineer is just going to shuffle forward a few inches. Now Skreech is going to move forward 12 inches, which will put him 3 inches in front of the Silver Helms. And now the Warp Lightning Cannon is going to move up 3 inches. Now the Warp Fire Thrower is going to run forward, so it's 12 inches. Not a bad run. So we're into the shooting phase, and the Poison Wind Globe weapons team is going to shoot at Imrik. So there's a 4+ to hit, which it makes, a 4+ to wound, which it also makes.
-2 rend.
So a -2 rend, which will put Imrik on a 6+ save. Ooh. Which he doesn't make, so that's a D6 damage. 2 damage, so he's now down to 11 wounds, so he's took 3 wounds now. Yep. And next, the Warp Lightning Cannon is going to shoot at Imrik, so rolling power dice. Is a 4, that's 6 shots, and they're doing mortal wounds on 4s here. So that is nice. There's only 1 wound on him, so he's down to 10 wounds now. That's quite lucky, actually. He could have been really hurt there. So into the charge phase now, and Skreech needs a 3+ to make the Silver Helms here, which he does. So in he goes. Wow, he's a huge model. Now the Rat Ogres are going to try and charge the Eagles. So that's 8 inches, but they've been prodded, so that's 7. They fail on a 6, so they stay where they are. The Storm Vermin are going to try and do a cheeky charge on the Eagle here, needing an 11. Ooh, when I see that 6, I thought maybe, but no. We'll start the close combat with Skreech and his Doomglaive. So that's 4 attacks, normally hitting on 3s, but because he's used that ability, they're hitting on 2s. So that's 3 hits and wounding on 3s. There's only 1 wound. -1 rend, so that's a 5+ save, which you don't make, and it does 3 damage, so that's 1 of them dead, and 1 of them on 1 wound. And now for his Plague Reaper, which is 5 attacks, hitting on 2s because of the bonus. So that's 4 hits, wounding on 3s. That is 2 wounds, and there's no rend, so 4+ save. Both failed, and how much damage?
1 damage each.
Okay, 1 damage each, so it's 1 removed and 1's down to 1 wound. So now I'm going to pile in with my Silver Helms, just to get them all on combat there. We'll start with the Lances. That's 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s, 1 wound, and there's no rend. So
3+ save.
3+ save because of Mystic Shield, yep, and that's saved. Now the Horse is attacking, so that is a total of 10 attacks, hitting on 4s, and wounding on 5s. So no wounds there, pretty terrible rolling. So that's the combat. So we're into the Battle Shock phase, and it's only the Silver Helms to take a Battle Shock test here, and 3 of them died, and the Bravery 7, so and that's 8. So 1 model is actually removed. So take this one here, 1 of them flee. Okay, and end of the Battle Shock phase, also the Stormfront moves if you've done any wounds on my general. So Imrik's took some wounds from the Skaven, so the Stormfront's going to move 6 inches towards my side of the board. So now there's more of the Skaven territory than High Elf on the board. Turn 2, and we'll see which Geyser blows up here. So it's number 5, which is this one just here. So let's see who's covered. The Warp Lightning Cannon. The Warp Lightning Cannon's covered, and D3 wounds, mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds.
So that's Warp Lightning Cannon down to 3 wounds.
So it's down to 3 wounds. Okay, so Imrik is going to use his command ability, Lord of the Dragons, and that means he can reroll to wound for his claws, I think it is. So the Dragon's Claws. So into movement, and my Lion Chariot here is going to run towards here. So that is 5 + 9, so that's 14 inches. So I'll put come up to here. And now my archers are going to move up here 6 inches. And the sword masters are going to move up 6. So take them up here. And Imrik's going to move up to 3 inches of Skreech now. Getting ready for a charge. And my Great Eagle is going to fly up here just to within 3 inches of that Poison Wind Globe weapon stem. Shooting phase, and Imrik's dragon, he's going to shoot his dragon fire at Skreech. So it's let's see how many mortal wounds it is. Oh, and it's a 1, so it's 1 mortal wound on Skreech, okay, which will put him down to 11. And yeah, I'm absolutely terrible with dragon fire rolls. It's like the 5th time it's been a 1 in a row. Now my archers are going to shoot at Skreech, and they're going to use their special ability Storm of Arrows so that they can, for 1 turn during the game, they can get double attacks. So we're hitting here on 4s and wounding on 4s. The Hawkeye is the white one, so he gets +1 to hits. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, and for the Storm of Arrows, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hits. Now wounding on 4s. That is 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds with no rend. So 3 plus saves because of Mystic Shield. Okay, and so he takes 2 more wounds, so he's down to 9 wounds. So the charge phase now, and the sword masters here are going to try and charge that Warpfire Thor. So they need 12 here, or sorry, 11, which they don't get. And now Imrik's going to charge Skreech, so he needs a 3+. He better make this. Oh no! I don't believe it.
Unlucky.
That is terrible.
Unlucky.
Oh, that is so bad for me.
Thanks.
So, damn. And now my Eagle here is going to try and charge the Poison Wind Globe weapons team, so 3+, which we make. So Eagle moves in. So next, my Silver Helms are going to attack the Vermin Lord. So with the lances, that's hitting 4 attacks, hitting on 4s. But because we're fighting on my side of the Stormfront, I actually get a +1 to hit. We forgot about that in the last combat phase. But so I'm hitting here on 3s, which is 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. That is 2 wounds with no rend, so that is a 3+ save for Vermin Lord. So that's 1 more wound, so he's down to 8 wounds. The horses, 8 attacks, hitting on 3s, which is pretty good. 7 of them have hit. Wounding on 5s. 3 wounds with no rend, so that is a 3+ save. And another wound, so he's down to 7 wounds. Now Skreech is going to attack back, so with his Doomglaive, 4 attacks hitting on 2s. So that's 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 3 wounds, and -1 rend, so that is a 5+ save for the Silver Helms. Which
so that's 6 damage.
2 make, and 2, well yeah, 2 have gone through, doing 3 damage each, so 6 damage, so 3 of them are dead. Well, so there's just the champion left. Now his Plague Reaper, because he's been wounded, there's less attacks here. 4 attacks hitting on 2s, 3 hits, and wounding on 3s. 3 wounds.
No rend.
No rend, so that is a 4+ save. And 1 goes through.
So he's down to 1 wound.
So down to 1 wound. And now for the Great Eagle attacking the Poison Wind weapons team here, because we charged, we've got 6 attacks, and they're hitting on 4s. Oh, that's pretty bad. Just 2 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds with no rend, so 2 6+ saves. And there's 2 wounds on him,
so
which
he's down to 1 wound.
Down to 1 wound. Now the crew's going to attack back, so that's 2 attacks, hitting on 5s. 1 hit, and wounding on 3s because of the +1 to wound bonus being here in his territory. So no rend, which will put the Eagle on a 6+ save, which it doesn't make, so the Eagle is down to 3 wounds. And that's the end of the combat phase, so we're into Battle Shock, and the Silver Helms, they took 3 damage this turn, or 3 models removed. So Bravery 7, So 6, so he's okay, he doesn't flee. So end of the battle shock phase, and because I did some damage on Skreech, the storm front is going to move 6 inches towards the Skaven edge of the board. So that brings us to an end of battle round 2 and into battle round 3. Because it's the start of a battle round, we'll roll to see which direction Stormfront moves in. 2 for me and a 1 for the Skaven. So it moves another 6 inches this way, so kind of favouring the High Elves now.
Moves here.
Now we're rolling to see who starts battle round 3. That is a 1 for the High Elves and a 5 for the Skaven. So
yeah, I'll start.
Sure you don't want me to go? Come on, Imrik's not even going to get a chance here. We're rolling to see which guys are up now. 6, which is this one just here. So
Chariot?
Yep, just the chariot takes a D3 mortal wounds, which is 3 wounds, which will put the chariot on 3 wounds, so it's down to 3 wounds. Hero phase for the Skaven, and Skreech Verminking is going to use his Molder Clan ability, which means he'll instantly heal D3 wounds. So that's 1 wound, which will put him up to
8.
Back up to 8. And another rule here is if you heal your general, for every wound healed, the Stormfront moves 3 inches. So because he healed 1, the Stormfront will move back towards the elf side 3 inches. Next, Skreech is going to use Inspiring Presence on the Storm Vermin here. So next, Skreech is going to try to cast the dreaded 13th spell. So this has got a range of 13, it's got a cast value of 8, and he's going to try and cast it on Imrik. Yep. So if it goes off, it means 13 mortal wounds on 4 pluses. Yeah, so a cast value of 8, let's see if it goes off. Oh no! Wow, so that is 13.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need 13 4 pluses now, or you need them. And Imrik's down to, what's he on now? 10 wounds?
Yeah. He could die here.
Well, I think he should be okay. I hope so. 13 4 pluses. And that is 1. How many wounds have we got there?
It's gonna be
6 mortal wounds. Wow, so he's down to 4 mortal wounds. Okay, and next the Warlock Engineer is going to cast his Warp Lightning on Imrik, and he's going to try and use the accumulator for that. So if it's unsuccessful, he'll do some damage to himself, but if it's successful...
Oh, so he takes D3 mortal wounds. So
D3 wounds, 3 wounds, and
so
what does that put?
2 wounds.
No, he's dead because he took two wounds from the geyser.
Yeah, so he's actually killed himself.
He blew himself up. Finally, the
Packmaster.
Packmaster is going to herd the rat ogres into the fray again. So the movement phase, and the storm vermin are moving up 6 inches. Now the rat ogres are moving to within 3 inches of the eagle. And the Packmaster is moving around a little bit, getting ready for charge on the eagle, I think. Fire thrower here is going to move up a little bit. So we'll start the shooting phase, and the poison wind globe thrower here is going to try and shoot Imrik. So 4 plus to hit, which he doesn't make. So now the warp fire thrower here is going to shoot Imrik. So he's going to use his more flaming death rule. So 2 plus, he does D6 mortal wounds.
Oh, he just makes it.
Which he does.
So D6 mortal wounds.
D6 mortal wounds, 4 plus. Ah!
Oh, Imrik's dead.
Imrik's been wiped out. So
bye bye, Imrik.
That's my warlord gone. So next, the Vermin King here is going to use his shooting attack, the Prehensile Tails, and that's 4 attacks. He's going to shoot the Silver Helm there, hitting on 3s. That's 2 hits, wounding on 4s. 1 wound, and any rend on that? No rend, so that's the 4 plus save, which he doesn't make, so that's the Silver Helm's removed. And that's Silver Helm's wiped out. Next, the Warp Lightning Cannon is going to shoot at the Lion Chariot here, so rolling the power dice. That's a 4, so that's 6 mortal wounds on 4 pluses. So let's see what we get. That is 4 mortal wounds, and it was only on 3 wounds, so that's the Lion Chariot wiped out. Not looking good for the High Elves at the moment. We've got 10 Swordmasters and 10 Archers and an Eagle. And now we're into the charge phase, and Skreech is going to try and charge the Archers here, so he needs 9. Which he doesn't make, so he stays where he is. And now the Rat Ogres are going to try and charge the Eagle, so 3 plus, and they make it. Actually, they get a +1 because they've been prodded, so they automatically make it anyway, don't they?
Yep.
Okay, and the Packmaster, 3 plus also, which they make, so in he goes. So the Rat Ogres are going to attack the Great Eagle now, so that's 8 attacks, hitting on 3s, so that is 5 hits. Wounding, you get a +1 to wound here because you're in your territory. So that is 5 wounding on twos. So all 5 wound, and
5 wound.
any rend?
-1 rend.
Okay, so there's no save. So
No save.
he was on 3 wounds, so that's the eagle dead straight away. So into the battle shock phase, and because the high elf general was slain, the storm actually moves 18 inches in favor of the Skaven. So moves all the way up to here. So battle round 3 for the high elves here, and all is looking but lost, but we'll continue anyway and see what happens here. So the geysers, let's see which one blows up. And it is number 1, which is the worst one possible for me. So D3 mortal wounds on the archers. 3. A D3 mortal wounds on the swordmasters. 2. So that's 2 of them dead. Not good. So my swordmasters are going to move up 6 inches to here. See if we can do some last minute damage to Skreech. And the archers are going to move 6. Into the shooting phase, and my archers are now going to shoot Skreech. So that's 7 attacks, hitting on 4s. A 3 for the Hawkeye. So that's Hawkeye's hit, and 2 more. Wounding on 4s, and nothing. So uneventful. Now we're into the charge phase, and the swordmasters are going to charge Skreech. So we need 4 more, which we make. So in go the swordmasters. So into the combat now, and the swordmasters are going to pile in 3 inches. So just so we can maximize hits here. So we've now got our 8 swordmasters here with 2 attacks each, 3 for the blade master. So that is a total of 17 attacks, and we are hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. So let's see what we get. Hitting on 3s, that is 3, 7, 9 hits. Wounding on 3s. Wow, these are pretty bad rolls.
Yeah.
5 wounds with a -1 rend.
-1 rend.
So he's on a 5+ save.
5+ save. Okay.
And that is 4 wounds.
4 wounds. So he's down to 4 wounds.
Oh, I thought I actually had a chance to kill him there with that many attacks, but I think my roll there was pretty bad. Okay, now Skreech can attack back. Now Skreech is Doomglaive, 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. Only 2 hit. Wounding on 2s because it's in your territory now. Yep. So +1 to wound.
-1 rend.
-1 rend is 5+ save, which fails, so 3 damage. So 3 of them are dead. And now his Plague Reaper is 4 attacks, 3s to hit. That's 1 hit. And was it 2s to wound?
2s to wound, yeah.
Which it does.
No rend.
No rend, so 4+ save, which we make, so no extra damage there. And that's the end of the combat. So battle shock phase, and we took 5 casualties for the swordmasters, and let's +1, that's 6, and their bravery 7, so none of them flee. Because I did some damage on Skreech, the storm will move back this way 6 inches. Not that I think it matters at this point. So that brings us to the end of battle round 3, and all I have left is them 5 swordmasters and a couple of archers. So I think we're probably just going to leave it there and call it a Skaven victory. Yeah, so let's get into the post-match. So into the post-match, and that was pretty fun, quite fast-paced scenario there. I think I got really unlucky as an elf. Ooh, so man, I really feel like I didn't get a chance to do anything. Like Imrik, failing that charge, man, 3-inch charge, that was failing a big deal. And it felt like I was always on the back foot. You were starting the turns. I didn't really get a chance to do much shooting. I didn't really have much shooting anyway.
I think the chariot and the swordmasters were deployed a bit too far.
They were, because you had all of your forces bunched up here, and I had just, I was kind of spread out.
I didn't realize how powerful the Vermin Lord is. I managed to cast that Dread 13 spell.
But that's only if it goes off, which it is a good spell, but you've got to be within 13 inches.
It did, 6 wounds on him?
Yeah, 6 mortal wounds. Wow. I think there was a combination of factors there between me failing my charge,
Yeah.
taking lots
That
of
was so
mortal
unlucky you
wounds.
fell in that charge.
My dragon breath only doing 1 mortal wound
Yeah,
on him.
again,
it's
how
like-
many times has it done that
Yeah,
one on the dragon breast? It's
Yeah, I know.
ridiculous.
He just never gets anything more than 1 mortal wound. But it was fun anyway.
Yeah.
It was quite cool, the storm mechanic, where it was going back and forward, and
Yeah,
you know,
I like the benefits from the storm.
yeah, +1 to wound if you're on the corruptor side, and +1 to hit if you're on the defender side or guardian side. So that was quite interesting. It's a shame it kind of ended so quickly because, you know, I think it would have been fun to kind of, you know, see the Stormfront keep moving and so on. But yeah, really good game. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and if you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe, or check us out on tabletopminis.com. And if you'd like to support us, we've got a Patreon campaign, and the details are below. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.
See ya.